Welcome back everybody to yet another video, this time a little different. So I'm going to walk through a couple different things, and my plan is to kind of focus on my adventures that I had this past weekend, what and how I'm drawing what I'm drawing, and why drawing these butterflies really spoke to me and encouraged me on a deeper level for some things. So I hope that you have had a fantastic day. I hope whatever stress or anxiety or, if you're like me, multiple thoughts just kind of rumbling through your head, I hope you're able to set them aside for a moment and maybe grab a sketchbook or just a pencil and paper and just doodle, or at the very least, grab your favorite drink and just relax for a second. So, about my adventures this past weekend with the 4th of July holiday or Independence Day, we had family in town, so my husband's parents were visiting, and really what was kind of cool about them visiting was we were kind of exploring more areas that we haven't had the opportunity to explore. And we live in the mountains of western North Carolina, and we've lived here for almost a year. It will be a year in August. And I kind of thought that I had seen pretty much anything that there was to be seen. We tend to visit kind of the same spots routinely when we have a free moment, and yet I was proven wrong this weekend. So my father-in-law grew up coming up to these mountains when he was younger, and there were so many things that he was excited to kind of take my husband and I to as well. So one of those was Cataloochee in the Great Smoky Mountains, and there's this campground, but it's one of those things where, you drive on a gravel road for a hot minute, just going up and down hills. Highly recommend, if you ever decide to make a trip out there, make sure you have the proper car to do it. But it was really incredible. They're in this beautiful valley, and the trees just make you feel, or at least for me, make me feel very protected and very immersed into nature. And I think nowadays I get so overwhelmed with the man-made structures and buildings surrounding me, and so it was such a nice treat to really just drive in, park the car, and wander around in nature and beauty of it all. And there's so much to see, but I'm not going to tell all of it because I have future things planned for this channel. But all that being said, there were patches on the gravel where the swallowtails, these beautiful butterflies that are predominantly black and blue, but it's just absolutely stunning, they would be in patches, and they would look like they were drinking from the ground any moisture. It's very hot summer. So I decided to take that moment as inspiration, snap a few photos, grab some, videos of them, and I sat down a couple days after to do this drawing. And here, as you guys can kind of see, just as my process that you've been watching, I use my mechanical pencils. I love to sketch on my mechanical pencils because I can be very light on it. It always has a sharp edge, and then I can use my kneaded eraser and just kind of take away the harsher lines I have. And then I used my Castle Arts coloring pencils to build in my definitions. Now, I had a couple different reference photos, and I took those reference photos to sketch butterflies in different positions so that I could show different perspectives, different shapes, different color patterns on their wings from different point of views. But then when I went to actually use my colored pencils, I could have focused on just coloring one butterfly at a time and doing it to completion, but I was really anxious on how my colors would turn out because I don't use colored pencils all the time, and there's some incredible colored pencil artists, and I am just working on that skill at this moment. So I decided to take it a little bit at a time, and when working on this, I decided to start with one color, apply that color wherever it needed to be on each of the butterfly examples, and keep doing that. And honestly, looking back, I'm really glad that I did that. I started with my lighter colors, my lighter blues, and then going in and kind of leaving those negative spaces and then allowing for spots for the black color pencil that needs to come out. And because I wasn't just focusing on working on one butterfly at a time and completing it and then going to the next one, it didn't allow myself to get, oh, I'm tired, well, I completed one, I will just do the other ones at another time. Like, I couldn't have that feeling because they were all incomplete at the same time, and they were all being worked on at the same time. And so it pushed me to keep moving until the piece as a whole, or the spread as a whole, was completed. So highly recommend trying that out, because I didn't really go into it with that intention, but I did catch myself probably about 2/3 of the way through going, oh, I'm really tired. Oh, if I had one finished, I could stop. And I'm glad that I continued to push through and kind of did it this way. But with kind of, again, my adventure taken care of, as well as my process or how I tackled these, I want to talk about more of the inspirational things that I dwelled upon when working on these butterflies. Butterflies have always fascinated me for their delicacy, but their beauty. And it reminded me of how butterflies have always been a symbol of rebirth and strength and going through different changes and motions. And that was something that I so desperately keep trying to remind myself. I feel like right now my life has been one thing after the other of constant changes, or not feeling satisfied with where I am and wanting to change things. And so focusing on butterflies and their beauty and the fact that they don't worry about it. They just do what they need to do, and while doing it, they are so incredible and amazing and beautiful and intricate. And I wanted to kind of have that reminder that especially blue butterflies and swallowtails, like, they can have the symbolism of love and sincerity. And I want to make sure that I'm keeping that focus of making sure I'm finding opportunities to share love with those around my life, but also be reminded that I can continue with the next chapter in my life, because it's all part of the plan. And one of the most beautiful things is at the end when you turn into a gorgeous butterfly. So guys, thanks so much for watching.